Welcome back to MTN Live in the Mountains. I'm here with Dr. David Linzey. He is the owner of the Animal Emergency Clinic. How are you today?
Doing fine.
And you are here to talk about a couple of different things. And we had Pet of the Week earlier, and they were today was Gravy Tuesday.
Excellent.
Over at the Humane Society. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing at the clinic.
Yeah, so we try to highlight a special that we're doing at our clinic each month when we come over and talk to you guys. This month we've got a couple things going on that kind of tie in with the holidays. And our hospital is a collection site for the Watauga Humane Society food drive, which we do every year. And what we're doing to incentivize people to bring food in is to offer some little small gift, sort of nail trims, free little dog treats and things like that for anybody that brings any food in for donation. And then what we're doing is weighing all of the donations that come in. So at the end of the food drive, toward the end of the month, the top 4 people who have donated the most amount of food, poundage-wise, and that's dry food, canned food, dog food, cat food, because they can use all varieties, will receive some bigger prizes. So, and we've got those all posted at our clinic. But we invite anybody to purchase any sort of food items and bring it by for donation, and it's to help feed the animals that are at the Humane Society that are up for adoption. So it's something the Humane Society does every year, and we try to support them on their activities.
All right, great. And we can just drop them off at any time?
You can bring them anytime. They usually come in weekly and pick up with a big truck and haul everything off. So we usually accumulate quite a bit of food during that time. So
if I wanted to donate, I could just get some food and come to the clinic and walk through the door and say, here you go.
That's correct. Any type is welcome. So.
Pardon?
Any type is welcome.
Any type
of food. So.
All right, well, great.
And also, another project that we're doing with our clinic this month is we're also tying this into the holidays. We just joined with a company called Royal Canin, which is actually a dog food company, and they've introduced a way to DNA test your pet. So there have been some of these tests available before. We feel like this one's a little bit more accurate and provides a lot more information, background information on that owners and veterinarians would be able to use to better treat our pets. So I brought a sample of a test kit. We just had these come in a couple months ago. We have tested a couple of our own pets, some of our staff animals, just to get some results back and to see what kind of results we get and to see how to interpret some of those results. And basically this is just a sample kit. This comes to your veterinarian when you order the kit, and it basically has a small tube in it that has a blood tube. So the test is a blood test. So we procure a blood sample from the animal. These are all dogs. They don't do cats at this point, just dogs. And then we submit the test kit to the company for analysis. It takes about 2 or 3 weeks to get the results back. It normally costs about $150 to do the whole test. We're doing kind of a special this month as we're introducing it, and we're offering it for $130, and that is everything. That's obtaining the sample, having the test done, interpreting the results, and everything. We thought it might make a good gift idea for certain pet owners that may be family or friends to check and see what kind of breed background your pet might be. This happens to us every day because we see these daily, but we always wonder what type of mixes some of these dogs are, and a lot of people adopt pets from the Humane Society, various different shelters, and basically are told by those folks what they think the breed is, but we never really know. So this is a good way to actually find out what breed your pet is composed of. This company uses a database that has about 250 different dog breeds in the database, about 320 some different genetic markers, and there's a computer program that does about 7 million comparisons. And this is DNA testing, so it's the same level of technology that's done for criminal investigations. But with people, basically they're trying to match a DNA sample with the DNA of a person. So all they have to do is make sure that it matches. This is a lot more complicated because there are so many more breeds out there, and you're basically getting a DNA sample from a pet and trying to identify what breed characteristics or what genetic markers that pet has. So in mixed breed dogs, there may be many, many different breed combinations that may play a role in what your dog is made of. So it's fairly complicated, and the DNA process is fairly specific as far as what certain breeds your pet might be composed of. Why do we do this, or why are people interested in it? Mostly just because it's fun and it's an interesting thing to do, and it might create a conversation piece for you when you're talking about your pets. These results they have a disclaimer on it. It's not legally binding as far as being able to register your pet based on what your results are with any of the breed registries. But more than anything, it's interesting to know what your pet's made of. And beyond that, the company provides quite a bit of information on what kind of genetic characteristics that particular breed may have. So the reason that's useful to us, and there's usually a printout that's provided to the owner, which provides kind of a breakdown and a chart and a graph of what the different 3 generations basically of your pet. That would be that dog's parents, the grandparents, and the great-grandparents, and what breed breakdown that animal is represented by. So there's a kind of a general interest printout that comes back to the owner, and then there's a little bit more of a technical review that comes back to the veterinarian. So along with this testing, as far as breed identification, they also check for a variety of different sort of genetic disorders that certain breeds would be prone to develop.
Right.
So we were just looking at this one this morning. This dog belongs to one of our technicians, and we find out on this result that this breed of dog that this dog is composed of has a little bit of a more likely predisposition to develop a certain type of an eye problem. So it doesn't mean that the dog is going to have that eye problem, but it means that the dog may be predisposed to developing that problem as they get a little bit older. And then we should pay a little bit more attention of doing eye exams with that dog as they get a little bit older to make sure that they don't have that problem. And there are some specific tests that can be done to identify whether that particular disorder might be present in that dog or not. So
wow.
There's a real health benefit to doing a lot of this, and this is kind of what we're promoting as far as being able to find out, what breeds they're composed of, and thereby, what sort of problems they might be likely to develop as they get a little bit older. So it's very interesting, a lot of information in here. Some of the more technical stuff is kind of hard to understand, which is why the veterinarians or the doctors and our staff usually try to go through the analysis, try to interpret that for people, because just like with genetic testing in people, sometimes people can get misunderstanding or a little concerned about some of the results when they don't know how to interpret them. So that's kind of the important part of this.
So it's kind of like Ancestry.com for
it
dogs,
is.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I think because I got a dog. I have a dog, Maggie. I got her from the Humane Society, and they told me she was Rat Terrier Jack Russell mix, and so that's just what I say, and that's kind of, you're right. And so to find out, where they all kind of came from, or where she come from, is really unique. And she actually has. Sometimes she'll have seizures, and it's just kind of out of the blue. We don't know what.
Right.
That would actually be a very cool, interesting test to see if it's a genetic thing, or wonder what kind of information I could find out about.
And there's been some interesting studies that people, when they look at a picture of a dog, they can usually identify what the primary breed is. Like there's some certain characteristic that they can identify as some certain breed, and that is fairly consistent as far as that being correct or that being accurate. But the rest of the genetic profile and the makeup of that dog can be somewhat surprising sometimes when you get some of these results back, because a lot of times we think of mixed breed dogs as not being like the father is one breed, the mother is another breed, and you get a 50% cross.
No, it's all
most of the time, especially shelter dogs that are rescues, have multiple crosses, and there may be 20 or more different breed characteristics in that one dog. And it's kind of interesting to match once you find out kind of what the DNA says. Sometimes certain breeds would, let you know a little bit about the, athleticism of that dog, or how big they should be, or, what genetic sort of problems they might be likely to develop as they get older, and various different sort of things. So it's a good guideline, and other than that, it's just kind of interesting to match some of those characteristics with what the paper is telling you with what you're seeing with your pet.
Right, so. And I don't know. I know there are people out there like me. My pet is my child, and so I always want to make sure she gets the best care. I want, I take care of my animal, and to find out, her background and like you said with the eye problems, to be able to watch for that. That to me is what would be the most important from this test, because I would love to know, what to look for, so I can just, prevent any kind of,
allows us to take care of them a little bit better, and
Yeah,
at least
absolutely.
to kind of stay ahead of some of these disorders that may be treatable early on if we knew to look for them a little more closely than to wait till some of the symptoms start to develop. But we'll be doing this long term, not just this month, but we're trying to kind of promote this month, and thought that some folks might be interested in maybe looking at this as a Christmas gift for those people in their family that may have pets that might just be interesting to look at. And
so for those who are interested in this, can they just call you and get some more information? Can they go online and get some more information?
We're doing gift certificates, so if somebody would like to purchase a gift certificate for a friend or family member, they still have to bring the dog into the clinic for us to get the blood sample and then to submit the sample for analysis. But yeah, they can just call for appointment, and we'll set up a time to have them come in and get the blood sample, and usually, like I said, about 2 to 3 weeks before the results come back. And then we'd be glad to go over those results with them and analyze the results and let them know kind of what the information we're getting back is. So.
All right. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, and definitely give you guys a call. What's your number there?
Number is 828-268-2833 is the clinic number.
All
so
right.
just give us a call.
All right, and be sure to if you're collecting some food, be sure to drop it off there, so to support the Watauga Humane Society as well. Thank you, Dr. Linzey, for being here, and we'll be right back after this.